wish I worked at that PWSP. I wish I worked at that PWSP.
Go through that magical door on the second floor to see the coordinators we all adore.
I wish I worked at that PWSP. I wish I worked at that PWSP. Whether you're working at Grant or the water processing plant, you know they'll get you to where you need to go. That's right.
Hi guys, welcome to the Cristo Rey podcast. We are here with our hosts, Ava and Jaleel.
Hey guys.
And we are also here, welcome with the PWSP crew.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey. Hello. Hi everyone, it's Miss Sprayberry here. For those who might not know me, I have been here this is my third school year with Cristo Rey, so I consider myself a junior here at Cristo Rey. And I also double as a cheerleading coach.
Hi everyone, my name is Miss Galan, and I just started working with the PWSP team a little over a month ago. So I'm very excited to be here in Columbus and just get to know the students and how we can make your job experience super exciting.
This is Mr. Holt. I started about halfway through last year on the PWSP team. I work in our remote room with any of our students in remote job placements, and I'm a coordinator on the PWSP team. And we'll also be coaching esports, wrestling, and track.
Hi, everyone. This is Miss Miller. I've been here for about 3.5 years now. I started out in the advancement office and then migrated over to PWSP. You'll probably see me awkwardly dancing in the hallway when we have music. I always make Miss Muchler laugh when awkward dancing.
I'm laughing just thinking about it. This is Miss Muchler. I've been here for 6 years, so I am a grizzled veteran. I am like Miss Sprayberry said, she was a junior. I'm like graduated, and the person that keeps coming back to their high school. I'm really excited for this year. I also coach cross country and track, so let's get out and get running. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound fun. That doesn't sound fun. I'm more of like the spirit. I'm more of like a not made it cheerleader, So let's take this opportunity and get to like know each other on a more personal level. If you guys could tell me like something like unique about you guys, like let me get to know you guys. Let our audience get to know you.
A fun fact that some people know that not everybody does is my mom used to work here. She used to work in the admissions office. She is an immigrant from Venezuela, and so I grew up learning English and Spanish, grew up here in Columbus, born and raised, and that is how I got connected to Cristo Rey, was through her, and loved the mission and stuff that she communicated to me and her passion. So this year she's actually a supervisor for one of our students because she was trying to weasel her way back to the school.
That's awesome.
Cool. And something that is unique about me, I was born in Guatemala City and I moved to the United States when I was 15 years old. About 3 months after I arrived to the US, I enrolled in a Cristo Rey school. So I'm a Cristo Rey alum, and I went to Don Bosco Cristo Rey High School in Maryland, where I was learning English and going to school and going to work all at the same time. So I think that's probably a really cool, unique thing that I have to connect with our students. And also I just remember the experience very vividly, because something like that you don't forget. But it was cool enough that I still wanted to come back and work with students within that capacity, specifically after being in the classroom for 3 years as a teacher. So I'm super excited to be here, and that's why I made the connection with the Cristo Rey school.
What's up, everybody? Mr. Schleyball here. Monday, September 6th is Labor Day. What is Labor Day, you might ask? Labor Day is an annual celebration on the first Monday in September. It's a celebration of the social and economic achievements of American workers. The holiday is rooted in the late 19th century, when labor activists pushed for a federal holiday to recognize the many contributions workers have made to America's strength, prosperity, and well-being. This means we also get a day off school. So, go enjoy your time off and all the hard work you've completed thus far, and happy Labor Day.
So being from Cristo Rey, Maryland, can you tell us like a few differences between Maryland and Cristo Rey Columbus, like major differences?
Yeah, absolutely. I think right from when I started, I noticed that there are a lot of differences, and I love both schools. The PWSP here, they make, I think, the experience, even before you start working, like I think they make it very special. For example, like draft day is one thing that I was super excited to be part of that we didn't necessarily have. Like, we got our job assignments kind of written, and it was a big deal, but I think draft day is just such an exciting and special way to introduce the students to their supervisors, and also workshop orientation. We didn't get to have a chance of like getting to know our supervisors before. And I mean, it obviously worked out and everything was great. My experience was great, but I love how there's so much effort from this team to make sure that the students know that this is something that's super special and something that we're really excited for them to get started with. So I think, yeah, just like starting this summer and everything is super busy because they're getting ready for this like really important event. So just like right away, it was amazing to see how special they wanted to make it for students. So I was really glad to be part of that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And this is Mr. Holt. A couple things I'll say about myself. One, the last 10 years before I came to Cristo Rey, I spent working in an educational nonprofit. So worked with districts all across Ohio and really all across the country, and did a lot of teacher and administrator training. So I've been around schools for a long time. And also I am Native American. I'm a member of the Sault Ste. Marie tribe of Chippewa Indians, and I'm the current chair of the Native American Alumni Board for the University of Notre Dame.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yep.
Listen, I found out randomly at the ice cream social during maps training. I found out he said that. I said,
Wow.
because I was not gonna lie, I was a little bit in disbelief. And then he put out his little wallet thing. He said, look at this. And I was like, oh, okay, then show me then. And I was like, oh, okay.
This is Miss Miller. So one fun thing about me is that I actually started out as a supervisor at a former business partner, and that's how I learned of Cristo Rey. And I loved working with the students that we had so much. That was my best part of the day. So I applied to like 7 different jobs here, and I finally got hired. They finally let me in.
So this is Miss Muchler. A fun fact about me is, well, I was suspended on my first 2 days of my freshman year of high school. And
Good trouble. I feel like good trouble.
So I have a lot of, I'm very passionate about education and like having good quality education. I went to some schools when I was growing up where the schools were not that great. And I ended up at a college prep high school for my last 2 years of high school, and it made a huge difference in my life. So I'm very passionate about that and happy to be here with you guys at Cristo Rey to help you on your journeys to finding career and getting into college.
That's awesome. That's what Cristo Rey is all about.
Hi, this is Miss Rogers, and I am the 9th grade counselor here at Cristo Rey, Columbus. September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. To be honest, this topic can sometimes be very hard to talk about, but it's very important that we do. If you or someone you know is dealing with thoughts of suicide or wanting to harm themselves, please know that you are not alone and there are people who are willing to listen. If you need help, reach out to a trusted adult in your life. The counselors, teachers, administration, and staff at Cristo Rey are here for you, and we care. You can also reach out to other caring adults through the 24/7 National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-8255 or text 4HOPE. That is the number 4 in the word HOPE, HOPE, to 741741. Remember, it's okay not to be okay, but even better to get help. God bless.
Leading into helping us find our jobs, how does that work? Like, how do you guys determine who gets what job, what personality traits will fit, like what supervisor needs what? Like, how do you guys coordinate that all in time for draft day?
I mean, you might can go ahead and say it. I mean, I just want to know like what major factors play a role.
Yeah, because I got the mayor's office first 2 years, and I said no politics on my maps training thing. And y'all surely said nope, go ahead. So, but now I want to be a congresswoman, so it worked out. But
yeah, and I want to know how much like thought really does go into like having like because you know a student has to grow at this job placement. Because I know like my first job placement, I had Jobs Ohio, which I mean I didn't know much about it, but it was so economically it was an economic place really, and I always thought I wanted to do law. But being there now, I know that I really do want to do like more cultural international relations type of thing. So I want to know how like futuristic you have to think, you know, in order when it comes to the job placement.
Every year you all receive, at the end of the school year, you all receive a survey. And so at the end of the year, because of those surveys, the different questions we ask, it's really exhaustive. We want to make sure we understand what your interests are, as well as what you're passionate about, your experience throughout the year, and then if you'd like to return to your job placement or not. So we also do a similar survey to our business partners, asking them lots of questions about how the year went with you. And there's what we call a match made in heaven, where our supervisor says, I would really love it if my student returned, and the student said on their survey, I would really like to return to work. And so we match those two people together because that's our match made in heaven. But if someone has other interests and their supervisor is open to them exploring their other interests, then we want to be sure that we match them at new openings that we might have each school year. So that's how we match our returning students. We have a bit of a different process with our students. We're first meeting. So that would be students who participate in our MAPS program, our transfer students, and our freshman students.
Okay, that's cool.
The way that we match our freshman students or our transfer students is all the students go through the MAPS program, as you guys probably remember going through. And so we observe students during MAPS, we see what they're interested in, we see what they seem to be, what their personality traits are, what they seem to, I don't know, what they're feeling affinities for, I guess. And then we take what teacher observations into account. But really what we do is then look at our job descriptions that we have from our partners, and we try to match interests, strong skill sets, areas where students might need to grow in, and we match them with our business partners based on that.
That's nice. So how do you guys do with like feedback from businesses, like businesses to students, like students to businesses? Like, I mean, like at the end of the year, I know you guys it's always like on the survey or the questionnaire, like, how did you feel about this placement? Like, do you guys ever like, what do you guys do with that type of feedback?
So are you asking like what we do with our partners feedback?
Yeah, or partner and student feedback, like both ends. Like,
yeah,
what role does it play into like deciding they're going to be a partner next year? Like, how much an account does that take?
So just like how we survey our students, we also survey our partners, and we compare what our partners say to what our students say. So if a student really wants to go back to a job and we look at the survey our partner filled out and that's mutual, then that's kind of what we call like the Cupid's match. That's like a great placement. But maybe a student doesn't want to go back, but a partner does want them back, then we listen to the student and we try and place them somewhere else, or think about how we could make that job a better placement for them. So it plays a huge role. We always want to, make our students happy where they're placed, but also, place good students with our partners. So comparing that data and just making sure that everything's aligned is one of the biggest parts of our placement process.
Hello, everybody. This is Mrs. Vallejo. As we all work together to make of this school year a year of growth and full of achievements, we have a few things that we need from you, especially during lunch and when you order food for delivery. When you place your order, do not use the school address. You might want to use the address of the topiary park or the library instead. Deliveries made to the school won't be received. You might end up with no food and that you have wasted your money. Remember, our school could lose its free and reduced program assistance. Students need to remain inside school grounds at all times, by the topiary park and the library. Remember, no eating or picking up food at any restaurant or food establishment is allowed. Foods and beverages need to be consumed during lunchtime. Once class starts, all foods need to be put away. We appreciate in advance your cooperation and consideration. Viva Cristo Rey! Take care, Cougars.
As a student going through the program, I had no idea like how much time it takes to like looking at every single student's interest and their answers in the surveys and how they do during the year. And also just really getting to know students. Like nothing is random, no match is random. I think we, like the team, tries to match as much as we can with like immediate industries. You say like you're interested in medicine and we place you somewhere that is medicine related. But then we also get into the question of like, why do you like that industry? Like what about it attracts you to that industry? And we get to work on that when we don't have immediate matches, but we still want to place you something that you see value in based on what interests you for that industry. So we try our best to make sure to look at all aspects of it, and also just seeing like, oh, this person maybe is not the most immediate match based on their interest, but like they will love the supervisor and then we just grow so much working with them. So really it's like looking at so many different angles, and it really is like so much time. I'm glad that we take that time to make sure the students are happy and supported wherever they are placed.
I'm glad you mentioned that about the supervisors, because I've noticed that myself. Like you guys, I applaud all of you guys, because you guys really do nail it all the way down to the supervisor themselves. Like I realized like my I wrote on my survey last year that I wanted to do international studies, and my supervisor this year, she mentioned like she studied abroad in Jamaica and things like that, and all type of stuff like that. So I think that I'm so grateful for you guys, and you guys being able to nail it down.
Y'all did, because my supervisor is political science, and I want to double major in political science and public policy. So I was like, yes, snaps.
Yes, so my question for you guys is there like a specific curriculum you guys have to follow, like based on the other like Cristo Rey schools, like since there's like 20 of them? Do you guys like base it off like what all the schools do, or do you guys just kind of like make it your own?
There are certain requirements that we have that are across all Cristo Rey schools. It's like the safety training. So if you remember your very exciting minor labor law class from MAPS, that's one of the things that we have to teach you about. But other than that, we pretty much make it our own. And it's based on what we see that you guys might be interested in, or what you might need in order to succeed in the workplace.
Yeah. So a big difference that we didn't have in like 2019, for example, we didn't have a workplace motivation class. But this year we added a class on workplace motivation because we noticed that last year it could be really hard to stay motivated during difficult and challenging times. So we wanted to make sure that students had some skill sets and some different tools to utilize during the school year. So that's one example of how we kind of tailor it for what our students need.
Hi guys, Alonga here. We hope you're enjoying this interview with the PWSP coordinators. Did you know that over the last 3 Mondays, PWSP ran a tech bootcamp for freshmen? I have 2 freshmen here, Aiden and Jeff, to tell us about what that was like. So Aiden and Jeff, can you tell us a little bit about the bootcamp?
So bootcamp was basically showing our way around on Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and showing us how you can work your way through it, different type of shortcuts, different type of keyboard cuts and things that you can use to be able to get it done effectively and efficiently, and how you can share with coworkers, download it, upload to your computer, all that other stuff.
So another way to put that is that they show you step by step on how to use PowerPoint, Excel, Google Docs, all that, and that stuff, so they can, so like in the future they give you, the supervisors could give you any projects, and while you're doing the project, you know which buttons to use and how to use them.
Thank you guys for sharing a little bit about your bootcamp.
No problem.
Anytime.
And having gone to a school that like I had to do it, like you guys did it, they have very similar themes. Like I think all the classes and what you're learning, like I think it's going to be very uniform with the themes, but it is very different. Like some of them are a lot longer. Like my MAPS program, we called it bootcamp, and it was 3 weeks long. Versus some others like are shorter, but it's always like the same things and very, very similar.
3 weeks,
just like different ways to do it.
And boot camp.
Oh, it was like in the middle of summer.
Wow.
Too, like,
oh no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
I love maps. I love maps.
Oh my
And,
gosh.
and we take time in the summer to look back at what curriculum we had for the year before, and okay, what classes really worked, what classes maybe didn't quite hit the mark, and we want to update, we want to grow. For this year, what was really unique was that our sophomores didn't have a chance to go through a traditional MAPS program. So we have them going through 3 days of MAPS training that are a little more tailor-made to like specific things that can really help them as they're headed into job placements. So we take the time to look at that every year and make sure it's really tailor-made to the needs of our students.
Okay, so speaking of MAPS training for newbies, imagine that you guys were in our places and that you guys were asking for jobs. What jobs do you think you would ask for? Either jobs that are that you guys would do, or like random jobs you'd be like.
And Cristo Rey is not an option.
I have an answer for this. I wish if I were in your position, I would ask for a law placement, because I went to law school, I practiced law for 8 years, and I hated it. So I wish that I would have had the chance to like go work in a law firm as a freshman or as a sophomore and be able to say, this is not what I want to do. I want to do something different.
I remember you hated practicing law.
I did not
I really
enjoy it
thought
at all.
you did. Really?
Yeah,
Listen,
no.
I can imagine her in court. Listen.
Is it paperwork? Is it
Listen.
paperwork, or you just genuinely just didn't enjoy it?
We can talk about
Okay,
it. Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. I'll share.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was it?
For me, I'd probably want something with marketing or like writing. I studied
after my
journalism what'd you
I
say?
said you're after my heart.
So yeah, Highlights for Children is a new partner that we have, and I think that one would be great. Adept marketing.
For me, it would have been something more along political science or mental health, psychology. I went into college as an engineering intent, and that was just because where I went to high school, it was like, oh, math and science, that's what, that's what you focus
That's what
on,
we
that's what
do.
you do. And when I got to school, it was like, wow, I really am not interested in this as a career. So I changed majors my freshman year to get a degree in political science and psychology. And I wish I would have been able to learn that sooner and could have better tailored my college experience to what I really wanted to do.
And save money. Cristo Rey really does save you a lot of money.
I had no idea about your
It is just
political
as valuable to learn what you don't like as it is to learn what you do like.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I was telling some kids in the math training. Like, even if you don't get the job, you know what you don't like.
Yeah, that's
so.
important.
It is.
Hi Cougars, this is Mrs. Fisher with some important transportation information with COVID-19 considerations. Transportation to and from school will occur on buses that are at full capacity. Federal regulations require masking when using any public transportation. We encourage all of our students to sit one per seat whenever possible and sit in your assigned seats. Ride with the windows down and consider double masking when you have to share a seat with someone else. Always make note of the person who you're sitting next to. It is important that you keep your masks up over your nose and covering your mouth for the duration of our school ride. If you're not wearing your mask appropriately, you're putting yourself and others at danger. The COVID-19 Delta variant is highly contagious. We've seen it affect our community. You need to be sure that you're doing whatever it takes to keep yourself safe. And if at any time the person sitting next to you on the school bus becomes a positive COVID-19 case, you will be considered a close contact and quarantine may be necessary. Wear your masks on the school bus. Let's be safe, Cougars. Mask up.
I honestly have no idea. I went through 4 different industries while I was a student worker because I had no idea what to do. And I think I would just ask the PWSP team to place me somewhere that's fun and just kind of trust the system. That's kind of what I did when I was in high school. And I loved it. I loved my placements when I was all 4 of them. So just being so indecisive, I think I would have just liked the team to just choose for me and just learn.
Oof, I think I would have cried because if they I would have been like, oh yeah, just choose. Then had an exact job in mind, and then y'all didn't give me an hour. Oh, rewind. No,
You gotta actually mean it
no,
when you say
exactly.
I was
Yeah,
going with the flow. It worked out pretty great for me.
I did.
I would say I work with a lot of our nonprofit partners, and they have my whole heart because I wish I knew in high school how many different needs there are in a community and how many different ways there are to help people. I went into what I said into education because I figured that this was the only way to impact young people was to be in front of them in a classroom. And the older I've gotten and the more I've seen from nonprofits, just even in our city, I've learned that there are so many different needs, there are so many different things to do and different ways that we can help people, especially young people, and that they need support. So I wish I would have just known before I went into college, but there's so many different things I could have done, include in my free time to help people holistically. Meeting holistic needs is really important too.
That's awesome. I was talking to my aunt and she was telling me about how we really need to get into the root of the problem. She's a social worker. So nonprofits and stuff like that, I feel like we need to get more push that awareness and even knowing of certain things that are out there, for sure.
And we have a lot of nonprofits that meet really specific needs for young people that can go unmet for a long time. And so to know what those things are can help you to better help yourself, but then also better help others and uplift one another as a community. So yeah, that's my answer.
Okay, so for all the newbies that are going to be having jobs soon, what advice do you guys have for them? If it's skills for them, just a mindset they need to be in that can really help them and motivate them for this new job.
I'm ready for that growth mindset talk.
You know
I'm
that's
ready.
what
I'm ready for it.
You already
It's
know.
growth or it's grit. It's always the grit mindset.
Oh, gosh. Hey, look, them G's, man. Let me hit us with 'em.
I love what a student said to me the other day. I asked him after orientation how he was feeling, and he said, I'm going to have an open mind, and I'm going to wait to make my mind up about my job placement, the work that I'm going to do, and my supervisor. And I thought that that was a very honest and sobering perspective to have. So I would love it if all of us could do the same thing, to have an open mind and to not make our minds up about people, about placements, about what we like about or dislike about our job until we've seen a good cycle of it to have a better understanding of what it actually looks like. So that's what I would tell everybody. Go in with an open mind for as long as possible and wait to make assessments.
Amen to that.
Agreed.
Hi there, Cristo Rey. My name is Sierra Weisbeck, and I am this year's school nurse. I would like to take this opportunity to just introduce myself to you. I am new this year. With that being said, we should talk about COVID for a moment. So the school is doing their absolute best at preventative measures when it comes to preventing the spread of COVID. We're still masked, we're distancing, things like that. But there are times where the students are not able to wear their mask, like for lunch or sports, things like that. I would like to reassure you though at this time that since we are doing the best we can here, there is very minimal time during the day that has the potential to be exposed. So as a parent, I find that fact to be very reassuring. So I would like to share that with you. Also, I would just like to say that I'm really happy to be here. I'm excited and I cannot wait to have a good school year. Bye guys, thank you.
I would advise students to be open with communication. If there's something that's happening or like just something they're noticing, anything about the experience, to communicate either with one of us, like your PWSB coordinators, or also with a teacher or someone that you trust in the building that can definitely make sure that we address whatever made you want to say something, and to make sure that you're having a good experience. I think that's really important for everyone, and even a reminder that I need for myself every now and then. So I just want to advise those students to feel comfortable and to reach out to us if they need anything.
I would say both of those pieces are incredibly important. And I would say kind of utilize both that communication and that open-mindedness to try new things. There's always new things to try in any job placement. Even if you're going back somewhere you've been before, there's new things to try. There's new teams to work with. There's new people to talk to, new connections to make. Be willing to put yourself out there a little bit to try new things and to have new experiences, because all of that's going to help you expand your network and be more prepared for whatever your next steps are.
I think my advice would be, if you feel nervous, it's very likely that your supervisor feels nervous too. Adults get nervous. Like we're in the same boat as you. We can totally relate to, what you're going through and what, like, the nerves of being new people. So keep that in mind and just be yourself. You are at Cristo Rey for a reason. You're talented and intelligent and creative and amazing young people. So being yourself is going to take you very far.
Yes, and I would say, just kind of going off of that, your supervisors are so excited for your first week of work. So just know that they are super excited, and go in there and just like soak it up. It's going to be amazing, and you really get out of the program what you put into it. So we're super excited for your first week of work, and we're really excited to hear how it goes for you.
Awesome. And I think that from all what you guys said, that just goes to show that Cristo really just teach you life lessons like open mindfulness, open communication, understanding people's nervousness. Those are things that you need throughout life, that you will learn through the PWSP, but those are, overall life lessons. So thank you for that.
I'd like to personally extend a thank you, because as a Cristo Rey senior, I remember coming in as a freshman, so flustered and having to feel like overcompensating for my confidence. And you guys have continuously put me at ease throughout the years, and I know that you guys will continue to do that. You guys have helped me recognize my greatness, and for that I am so grateful. I know all these other students as well as my co-hosts are so grateful and so honored to have you guys as our PWSB team. And yeah, thank you guys for joining our show today. Bye guys.
Thank
you.
PWSP, yeah. I wanna work at PWSP. I gotta work there. PWSP, oh yeah. Cause frankly, I think they make more money than me. PWSP, yeah. I wanna work at PWSP.
I gotta work there.
PWSP.
Oh, yeah.
Cause frankly, I think they make more money than me.